everybody, how's it going? It's been a long time since I've done a video. I did not plan to be away this long, but here we are. My name is Melissa, and this is my channel Geeky Witch, about all things cross-stitch in my life. Yeah, it's been about a month, and that's purely been because I got a head cold at the beginning of the month, and that turned into bronchitis, and I've been battling a weird off and on laryngitis for the past 3 weeks. Right now, I'm able to talk. I'm sure by the end of this video, my voice is going to get a little rough, so I'll apologize in advance, and if I start coughing, you know why. I'm fine, and I feel fine, but this thing is just lingering and does not want to go anywhere. But at least it's not COVID. So, it's been a month, and quite a bit has happened in that month. When I last left you on Halloween, I was about to go to a stitching retreat in New Hampshire called Stitchin' at the Farm, and it was a blast. Had an absolute blast. I was up there for 3 nights and met a ton of people. Didn't really get to sit down and really spend a lot of time with anybody. Well, that's not true. But I felt like I was just bouncing all over the place, and that kind of seems to happen to me the first year that I'm at a retreat, because I'm kind of getting the lay of the land, and you know, you've got the facilities to check out, you have a whole ton of people to meet, you don't know what the routine of the retreat is going to be yet. Yeah, so the first year is always kind of a little weird going to retreat anyway. Next year, which I've already signed up for, I'm sure will be kind of more of a settling in and chatting with people, and you really start to get to know some folks, and you know, it's like you start getting the I'm catching up with old friends feeling, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, absolute blast. The inn, or the farm, couldn't have been a better host, because they really were the ones running the show as far as, like, you know, the rooms and the meals and everything. And then, yeah, it was awesome. I shared some photos of what I took on my Instagram. I am not a photographer, so they are not the best of photos, but I know several other FlossTubers have shared their experiences at the farm, and I'll just kind of back up what they said at this point, since my comments on it are so late compared to everybody else. Yeah, it was a blast. I hope if you ever get an opportunity that you can come to that one. If you can't get into there, there's always Celebration of Needlework, which is in May in Nashua, New Hampshire, and that is pretty much open to whoever can get a hotel room in the general area of Nashua. Come on over. It's a big stitching shindig. So that's that part of the retreat. And I've been doing a lot of stitching this month. One piece I cannot show you yet. I did an ornament for an exchange for the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild, and I did film a little video before I sent it off, but because we haven't done the reveal yet, I obviously don't want to show that until my partner gets it, because I don't want her to stumble across this for any reason. So I've got one other exchange that I'm doing a stitching piece for, and I'm just kind of going to collect all of my videos for ornaments and post them all together as one video later this month, probably the week right before Christmas, because by then I think everything will be wrapped up. Fingers crossed. So that's that thing that I've stitched. And now I'll show you this other stuff that I've been working on this month, because I've gotten a nice amount done. All right, a little sip of the drink before I start, because you can hear the voice is already getting cracky. Okay, so the first piece I have to show you, I'll turn it this way, is A Stitch for Sweet Freedom from Lindy Stitches. I started this for the inauguration day stitch along back in January, and pretty much worked on it like that day and put it down and haven't picked it up since, because I've been busy on so many other things. But I brought it up to the farm and to get a little bit of work done on it, just to say, you know, I'd put some time in on it. And here is where it is now. When I went up there, I had the hoop done, which will be kind of a compass. And then I had the word stitch. So the rest of the words are what I did. And I just worked on this on Sunday morning before lunch. And then we all wrapped up after lunch. So very, very happy with that one. I'm stitching this on 32 count. I still have the tag on it. 32 count Misty Morning Jobelin from Heavenly Creations. I don't think she's dying anymore. I could be wrong though, but this is from old stash. And I have a mix of flosses that are called for and just stuff I had from stash that was close, because I'm trying to use up stash. So that's that one. The next one is the Jade Band Sampler. This is from iStitch Designs and was a mystery sampler this year. It wrapped up in late August, but I am many, many weeks behind on this. It had 30 weeks, 30 parts. I am on week 9. I finished this row of numbers and then everything else you see here, and carried this border down while I was at the farm. I had hoped to have this done by the end of the year, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, but I should get a nice amount done. Hi, Toby. I have a cat sitting next to me. You're going to just see his butt right there. Anyway, this is done with some overdyed floss from Amaranthine Studios, and I will link them up. They're on Etsy, and she does absolutely beautiful floss. She does like sets of floss, not individual skeins. So it's great if you have a piece that's monotone, but you want just a little more oomph in it, like I did here. And that's what that looks like. So I'm on week 9 of 30. I got a ways to go. She is doing, iStitch Designs is doing another one starting in January called the Denim Band Sampler. You can sign up on her website. So iStitch Designs, again, I will link it below. And I believe the cost for this one is $30. And then you just need to kit it up. So the final piece I've been working on, and this is getting pretty close to done, and the original video, oh, hang on, cat. Hi, Toby. Are you getting in your box? Pardon the drive-by. Happens a lot at this desk, usually by that cat. The last piece I've been working on was a stitch along that I started this piece a couple of years ago as my New Year's Day start, but I joined the Alpha My Bet stitch along on Semi-Sane Stitchers this year, which was, the goal was to, every 2 weeks they would call out a letter of the alphabet, you'd finish that letter, and then by the end of this year you'll have a completed piece. It seems like the stitch along has died off, but I was set on doing this year because I have like the piece that's perfect for it. And I started off this year only on letter D, so I had up to D done, so I wasn't that far ahead of anybody. What, like 3.5 weeks? And then I fell behind because of Crystal Academy and other things going on, and I've been playing catch up all year. So I decided that by the end of November I wanted to be caught up. And that would mean I would need to get through the letter X. Lot to do. So when I think I last showed this, I was just wrapping up Q. I don't think I had this specialty stitch in there yet. So at the farm, I did R and S. And then since the farm, I have done T, U, V, W, which as you can see is gigantic, and X. I'm caught up. I'm so happy. I really am happy. And even though I could probably finish this tomorrow, I want to do at least 2 weeks on time with a stitch along. So that's my goal. So this piece is by Wild Heart Designs. It's an old piece from 2004. I doubt it's still in print, but I kind of see it show up on freebie tables here and there at retreats, so it might not be that hard to find. I am doing this on 27 count banding from Zweigart. I bought this from Needleworkers Delight at the store 5 years ago-ish. They had it on a roll and they could measure out however much you needed. So it's kind of a looser weave, but it does look really, really pretty. The threads are by Nina's Threads. She works out of Budapest, Hungary, and is on Etsy. And the color is Cherry Coffee. I'm doing all of it in one overdyed floss. So the brown to the pink to the light pink is the floss variation. But yay! This is going to be a finish this year. So happy. Probably one of my faster finishes, honestly. So, one other thing I have to show you, and this is also from the farm. Excuse me, Toby, because you're sitting on the project bag. So, in the freebie bins, there was a lot in the freebie bins. A lot. Those of you going to StitchCon, you're going to see, I think you're going to see some of the remnants of what left, because there was a lot. At one point, a couple of the stitchers go, "Hey, Melissa, there's a Wentzler kit in here. You want it?" And I was like, "Sure, why not? You know, I'm sure I have the chart, but hey, you know, if it's kitted up, awesome. Either I'll start it or I know I can find a good home for it." So Tapestry Cat came home with me. Now I have this chart. I've had this chart for years. I did not start this piece because, as you saw a couple of months ago, I have way too many Wentzlers in progress. That might be an understatement. I have a crap load of Wentzlers in progress. I don't need another Wentzler to go into this rotation. I could do a rotation of Wentzlers probably for the next 5 years straight and burn myself out on stitching. But, okay, whatever. So I grab it, and it was not kitted. It wasn't in the original packaging. It was inside a large Ziploc bag, and the floss was in there, and the fabric was in there. Okay, great. You know, and the chart's in there. So I go back upstairs to where I'm stitching, and I'm just kind of, "Oh, Melissa, what'd you get?" "Oh, well, I got a Wentzler kit." And everyone's like, "Oh, what a surprise, you with a Wentzler." And so I open it up to see really what I'm looking at. And my jaw drops. And then as I show other people throughout the weekend, pretty much everybody's jaw drops, because I was not expecting how much was done on this. So remember, again, that's the chart, okay? Here's what's done. This was in the freebie bin, just like this. The entire cat is done. That entire center panel is done. There is no back stitching to be done in that center panel. It is all done. The only thing left is the border, which, yes, is a lot, and it's where the quarter stitches are. But that whole confetti white on white is done. So really, I see it as the easier part is what's left, oddly. Yeah. So the question then becomes, why did someone give something up that had that much work done on it? And of course, there are a couple of possibilities. One, it was a stitcher who had passed away or could not stitch anymore, and their friend, you know, put it into circulation, into freebie bins for someone to pick it up. Two, they got that center done and then saw all the quarter stitches and back stitching and went, oh hell no, and gave up. Possibility. The third possibility, and the one I am running with, is that whoever was stitching it had a Himalayan cat, had a seal point Himalayan cat that looked similar. And the cat passed away and they really couldn't stitch on it anymore. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but that's what I'm going with. I also have had a Himalayan cat that looks just like this one. My childhood cat, Kaleem, was a seal point Himalayan. So, which is why I was attracted to the chart in the first place. So I am running under the idea that whoever stopped stitching on this lost a cat that looked like this one and couldn't find it, just couldn't deal with finishing it, which I totally get because it's an emotional thing. So I'm going to finish it for that person and for me. This will be going into rotation next year because with that little left, it deserves to be done sooner than later. So I have another Wenzler. I think that brings me up to what, 13, 14? Something like that. I'm nuts. I know, I'm nuts. Gotta help me. So yeah, that's all the stitching I have to show you. What's next on my horizon is one more ornament that I need to stitch for an exchange. I'm going to try to get another beaded ornament done for my mom. I was supposed to do one last year and didn't get it done, so I still have it here, so I'm going to try to do it this year. If you grew up in the 60s or 70s and 80s, you may have remembered beaded ornaments where they were like styrofoam balls with pins with like little beads and stuff. So I made this one for my mom a couple years ago. This is from Glimmer Tree. They have their own website. They're also on Etsy. And the kits, and that the only reason I can show you this one is because she already has it. But I also bought the same one for me so I could make my own. So you could see the big pile of beads and pins down there, and then all the finishing ribbon and the ball. And there are instructions in there, you know, step by step to get through the whole thing. I have another one for her that now has been sitting here for 2 years. So I'm hoping to get that done for her. I have the ornament for the exchange to do, and then I am like scot-free on stitching for the rest of the year. So I'm gonna obviously finish alphabets and probably work some more on Jade Band Sampler, and then just kind of do whatever I want with the rest of the time of the year. It's the freebie month. I also, for next month on my FlossTube, although I'm only going to do it once a week on Saturdays is I have the Nice Box from, yes, lots of gifties to unwrap. I'm not going to do a daily. I figure I'm going to enjoy this box. I'm going to open it on my own and enjoy the treasures, but every Saturday I will show off that week's items so you can see what's in the box. Like I did in October, I will do it at the end of my videos so those who haven't opened them aren't spoiled, and I'll give a spoiler alert on Saturdays, but yeah, no everyday thing. So I won't be spamming your subscriptions, I promise. I learned my lesson in October, I promise. And that's it for now. And before my voice completely dies, I think I'll probably wrap it up here. So thank you for joining me. And I hope those of you who are in the US had a lovely Thanksgiving. And those of you not in the US had a lovely weekend. And I will see you next weekend. Till then, have fun, guys. Take care.